Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up there in age, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about Delta Airlines having an insane meltdown. People cannot travel. People cannot get from A to B. And it is because of a tech outage that happened with them that even prompted a FBI investigation. This is insane. The only reason I'm covering this is because of my own self-interest. I am a Delta Skylines Reward member. This is the company that I choose to fly with because I don't want to put my spirit in Spirit Airlines. And this is questionable. This is a cause of concern. I might have to go with American Airlines, right? I am American, so I might have to go with American Airlines. So Yahoo Finance comes out and says Delta is melting down. It could last all week. And it says this bad news for passengers. Delta Airlines canceled hundreds more flights early Tuesday morning as the problem caused by last week's global tech outage continued on the fifth day. Worst news, Delta meltdown will probably extend through the end of the week. All right. The meltdown has ensnared an estimated 500,000 people, ruined holidays and travel plans, and prompted a federal investigation. I've already covered that. And even as Delta flights cancellations are delayed, ongoing and far outpacing issues at other carriers. As of 2 p.m. Eastern, the Atlanta-based airline had canceled 466 flights. And Endeavor Air, its regional carrier that feeds its system under the Delta Connection brand, had canceled another 28 flights. The cancellations follow more than 1,250 flight cancellations Monday and 4,500 flights from Friday through Sunday between Delta and Delta Connection. Now, I will be 100% honest with you. If Delta had canceled my flight, knowing that the way I manage my time, I plan everything based on my flight. Everything from my hotel stay, my Airbnb, my life, my time off, my PTO, everything revolves around my flight. We would have some serious problems. I am not the type of person to cause an uproar. I am not the type of person to go out of my way to really cause a ruckus. But we would have some serious problems. Let my flight be delayed for a week. A day, I might be able to understand. Depends on the situation. I might, especially if you offer me something. But I've never accepted none of Delta's offers. They will offer you $400 in credits, $1,000 in credits. I've never accepted it. That's how important my flights are. I will not cancel my flight for $1,000, okay? So you tell me my flight is delayed for a week. The only way I'm going to be happy with that is if I'm getting at least $7,000, and Delta cannot afford to pay every single passenger 7 bands. Okay? So yes, we would be frustrated, and yes, it is very, very likely that I would be switching companies because I spend way more than that in a year flying Delta. I can tell you that much. So, they say that there were more than 1,000 Delta and Delta connections listed as delayed by FlightAware. The canceled flights by the two carriers represented nearly 70% of all flights within to or from the United States that had been canceled on Monday, according to FlightAware. No other U.S. airline had canceled 1/10 as many flights. Now, it says 70% of the canceled flights. That doesn't necessarily mean that Delta has 70% of all flights in America. No, it's just that they made up 70% of all canceled flights. That's insane. All right. It says the problem prompted the Transportation Secretary, I can't even pronounce this name, Buttigieg, to announce the Department of Transportation would be starting an investigation to make sure Delta is following the law and treating passengers fairly. Right. So at this point, Delta is going to be losing a shit ton of money. I hope that they're not even allowing people to book flights, because obviously if they are, people are going to get the bag by booking a flight right now, because it will most likely be canceled. Right. And so the airlines, the federal is investigating because they want to make sure Delta is offering $400, $500, $1,000 to these people for their canceled flights, their delays and their troubles and their issues. And they're trying to see if these customers are being accommodated for their delays and the negligence of this company. So what they state now is, I'm hearing a lot of things I'm very concerned about, including people being on hold for hours and hours trying to get a new flight, people having to sleep on airport floors, even accounts of unaccompanied minors being stranded in airports, unable to get on flights, Buttigieg told reporters on Tuesday. I didn't even think about that. I have a cousin who sometimes flies by herself. She's only like 12 or 13. And she might have an escort a lot of the times that we do have to pay for. An escort may not want to stay at an airport for 3 or 4 days for a new flight. And when everybody needs a new flight, that is a likely possibility. If my cousin was stranded, I would quit flying Delta for that reason and that reason alone. Because I cannot support a company that would put my family in that type of danger and that type of stress, right? So that alone would be reason for me to say enough is enough. Now, I'm not trying to badmouth Delta. I wasn't in this situation. And, a lot of the times when it's not us, we tend to sweep it under the rug until it does happen to us. There is a likelihood that this will happen again. It's a likelihood that it will happen again. Because I've noticed in my experience that when it has happened before, it will happen again. And you think it will never be you, but to be honest, it could very well be you. And what I would hate to see is that I'm in a foreign country and this happened to me, and now I'm stuck in that foreign country. I would absolutely hate it. Well, absolutely, the foreign country wouldn't be Delta, so I guess I'll be fine. But then when I get to like a connecting flight, that might be an issue. I'm okay being stuck in Atlanta for a couple of days. But yeah, that would suck. Now, they continue to say, part of why we were opening the investigation is the scale of the problem, he added. Over 6,000 flights have been canceled since Friday. Hundreds of flights have been canceled today, and we're estimating that more than 500,000 passengers have been impacted by this. The DOT said that it has received a high volume of consumer complaints and the Delta's actions since Friday. The department said it can penalize an airline for an unfair and deceptive practice if it finds that the airline provided inadequate customer assistance when flights are canceled or travel plans significantly change. Buttigieg asked passengers with complaints to contact the Department of Transportation. While you should first try to resolve issues directly with the airline, we want to hear from passengers who believe that Delta has not complied with U.S. DOT enforced passenger protection requirements during the recent travel disruptions, he tweeted. We will follow up. Now, I do have to applaud Delta. After all that rant and all that negative press that I did give them, I do have to applaud Delta. You should not be flying if you cannot ensure everyone's safety. Delta is known as a safe place to travel, and so I made that joke about Spirit because I would not put my Spirit in Spirit hands, okay? And because Delta wants to remain that beacon of hope, because Delta wants to remain a safe place to travel, I promise you, if one plane crashed, it would cost more than the 6,000 canceled flights. Because that is 20, 30 people on that plane who would all be seeking millions in restitution. Families would be seeking millions in restitution. So, with that being said, I think Delta did the right thing by canceling these flights. I think that they should also do the right thing by honoring their members, offer $100, $200, $250. There's a lot of people who will accept that. Book another flight and get up out of there. There are some people who will be stingy and ask for $800 and even more. Understood. But try and get as many people to accept the lowest offer possible and then move on after you correct this decision, this problem, and start running as normal. You might have to boost prices by another 5 and 10% and keep it there in order to get some of that revenue back, but maybe you won't be able to do that to remain competitive with the other airlines, especially after the bad press that you've just received. Either way, this will get handled. They will move forward, and they were already bailed out by the government before. I don't see them being bailed out again because other airlines are not being impacted. This is a Delta issue and not an airline issue. And so with that being said, I expect them to have to resolve this with actual income that they are earning, if they are earning any whatsoever. Right now, Delta is having a meltdown according to Yahoo Finance, and I just covered it for you all today. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and on Rumble. Please, please, please subscribe to the channel, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.